Okay, so after we've paired our communication channel, the next thing we're going to want to do is ensure that we're using the proper models and the proper available providers. So when you set this up, you likely could not use OAuth to log into Anthropic, your Claude subscription, or your OpenAI subscription. So what you're going to want to do is connect those subscriptions now, because otherwise you're using what's called API credits, which are very expensive, much more expensive in comparison to using your actual subscription through either Anthropic or OpenAI. So we're going to decide on which one of those to use based on which subscriptions we have. You may have both. I have a $20 subscription in Anthropic for Claude, and I have a $200 a month OpenAI subscription for Codex. And the reason that I did that is, basically that Claude shut down the ability to utilize OAuth, meaning you couldn't log into your subscription a while back. And so I moved everything over to Codex, and I haven't gotten around to moving it back yet. I do think both models are strong. I think Anthropic is leading the way right now. So that may be your preferred methodology, is to use Anthropic through your Claude Max subscription. One caveat there, Anthropic hits hard on the back-end use of their product through methodologies that they do not allow. And so there is a chance that if you're using Anthropic's Claude Max subscription through our back-end model, which we've developed through this platform, that you can be temporarily or permanently banned from using your Anthropic models on a go-forward basis. So if you want to exercise extreme caution, I would say your OpenAI Codex model might be a better methodology on a go-forward basis. It's more stable, and the creator of OpenClaw actually joined OpenAI, which we therefore know that there's a relationship between those two companies at this point, and you're more than likely to have a stable connection on a go-forward basis. So I'm going to use Codex as an example. What I'll do is I'll click on this and I'll say connect and start the Codex login. And what it's going to do is give me a URL that I will paste into the browser up here. And it's going to ask me to log into my account, which I will do. Continue. And then this is going to pop up, which always confuses people. Okay, what do I do next? Well, there's a URL that I'm not going to show you above. That's very important that you don't share with anyone. And you're going to paste that into here and then press continue. And it's going to submit this. You can actually see it operating in the background here. You can actually see what it's doing inside the terminal to set up this account if you so choose. And then we'll see that it's all done. So we're going to press close. And what we'll notice is your default model has changed here to OpenAI Codex. So if we go to main model, I'm just going to ensure this says API key. I'm just going to make sure that this is correctly linked to OpenAI Codex here. This is what I want. And then that will be your main model. Okay, so now that is set up, we can add a fallback model just in case. And I always like to have a fallback model. And my fallback model of choice is always OpenRouter. We'll have further videos on how to set up OpenRouter. It's fairly straightforward, but it's API key based. And OpenRouter allows you to choose between any model you want via an API key. So I'll set that up as my fallback model. Why is it important to have a fallback model? Well, if for whatever reason you lose access to your Codex subscription, your bot will be dumb. It won't have a brain to use. And so you need a fallback model so that if it doesn't work through your Codex subscription, it'll quickly move over to your OpenRouter subscription. And therefore you won't be left without a brain in your bot. In which case, if you are, you have to log into the terminal here and actually SSH in to the terminal and know how to code in order to get this done. So I highly recommend having a backup model. And that is really all that you need to know about the model side of this platform.